Turned into a bit of karaoke here in the studio, and I didn't realise the song was coming to an end. This is Claira Hermet on BBC Radio London as part of The Scene. I'm with you each and every Tuesday, 8 till 10 p.m. Joining me in the studio now is Marvin Morgan. He is the founder of fashion brand Fresh Ego Kid. And we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to get into Fresh Ego FC. I want to chat to you a little bit about how Fresh Ego Kid came into existence and how it came to be the brand that it is today.
As I was playing, I realised, what am I going to do after football? Like, that's the big question. Whoa, what's going on in here?
The studio's just fallen apart. BBC runs the studio. Has probably the mice. Sorry, carry on, Marvin.
So, life after football.
Yeah.
And I was playing with actually one of our Fresh Ego FC members, Dean Morgan. And
he's in the studio now.
He's in the studio
now.
now.
He won't put his mic up. It's fine. You can talk about him.
And it was just like, I think every footballer thinks they're cool.
Yeah.
I was actually cool though. I had a passion for fashion. Yeah. And I didn't actually know until my mum turned around to me and said, you know what, your nan was one of the best Jamaican dressmakers.
Wow, look at that.
In Jamaica and in Manchester. And my dad had a clothing brand called Uzi. It was a dance hall kind of baggy. I think I got some clothes still.
Yeah? Would you rock it?
Nah, okay. But like he was talented, but he was a different type of designer. He like a sewing machine. He made clothes.
Yeah.
So it was in me, but he just didn't know. Like, so obviously when I was playing, it was an idea. And as I gradually left the club I was at with Aldershot Town, I went to Shrewsbury, and I thought, you know what, I'm going for it. And there was a lot of kickback from when you're as a professional. They don't want you to do anything else except consume football. But actually, it's paying the bills today. This is what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do. So I knew football was a stage, and I'm thankful. It made me meet a lot of people and bring me to this day, what I'm doing now, a lot of my football contacts and stuff like that. So I'm totally blessed that I was a professional footballer for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I love football. But now I'm in fashion, and this is what it's all about.
This kind of idea, I've had someone on the show before who was a footballer and then their career ended kind of prematurely, and then they had to navigate life, basically. They hadn't had that kind of, I guess, that desire to start something like you already had when you were still playing. And it was kind of like, who am I now? What is my identity? What do I do? Like, all the accolades gone, like the money's gone, the lifestyle's gone, and now I'm here. So did you ever get hit with that, or were you making the transitioning into the fashion brand before you finished football?
Footballers will go through this all the time. And it's so easy as a football fan to think, oh, he's got loads of money, he's fine, he's minted. But actually, the real life starts when you basically retire from football. That's real life, because you're not on the money that you were when you were professional, because that is good money at that current time. But when you stop, it's very hard to kind of adjust to real life. And there's stats out there that actually say 60% of footballers, 3 years after retiring, they go bankrupt. Wow. You know what I mean? And that's a high number, you know what I mean? And that's at the top level. So just think about the League Two, the conferences, when they're full-time. It's very real out here.
When you're a young player, are you taught any or given like any kind of help with finances?
No, and that's the thing. This is why Fresh Ego FC is important, because me and my partner John Rubin, we've already spoke to Arsenal under 17s, Man United under 18s, and Chelsea under 17s as well, and actually saying to them, like, guys, what do you like? Because stats say none of you are going to make it. Right. It's pretty ruthless, but actually we're trying to get them ready and say, what do you like to do? And focus on what you like to do as well. Don't just consume football, because if you don't make it, you're going to be lost. Yeah. And that goes to mental health again, because when you don't make it as a footballer and your best mate makes it as a footballer, you have to watch him go higher and higher. And it's nothing to do with hating. It's just you feel bad about yourself that should be me.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced during that kind of like time of starting things off?
Money management, you know what I mean? And that's something that I'm learning now, like as a business owner, and my business partner, who's basically been in business a long time, and his family's been in business a long time. So when you think you got £1, actually you got 30p. You know what I mean? Because obviously there's hidden costs, there's VAT, there's so many costs.
No one likes the VAT.
There's so many stuff you have to think about. So understanding business a lot more now makes me realise you can't, if you make money and you're generating money, there's always you got to pay, you got to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? You got staff, you got rent. There's so many stuff you have to think about.
Yeah.
Before,
and as you grow as well, more and more of that comes into play, doesn't it?
It's like us as a brand now. We're going into Foot Locker, and we're going pan-European.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. It's yeah. Oh, sound effects. Are we going? Oh, okay. I like that.
It's a whole audience in here just for you. Were there times, then there must have been over like the last 7 years, where you wanted to give up, and when you kind of felt like that, how did you get out of that space?
Every day. Like literally, like every day. There's something that I posted a while ago about trying to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
1 minute I've made it. Next minute, oh my God, I've got no money. Oh my God, we've made it again. Oh my God,
It's like a roller coaster, isn't it? An emotional roller coaster.
It's an emotional roller coaster. Like I've got so many stories of like 1 minute it's like, oh my God, we've blown, and then next minute it's like, oh God, like. Working with these big corporates, we've done a lot of stuff recently. We collaborated with New Era, the biggest headwear brand in the world. Unbelievable. Like I'm like still buzzing about it now. And doing collaborations with Xbox, doing a poker tournament with 888 Poker. Like going into Foot Locker, going into JD, like 50 plus independent retail stores. And it's like trying to manage that as well as still trying to be cool is very, very hard. Like it's very, very difficult. And as well as that, I've got some great staff. You know what I mean? Shout out G, the 2 Gs, Gurdeep and Guada.
That's for the Gs.
The Gs. Shout out the intern Emma. You know what I mean? Shout out John.
Don't miss anyone now.
Yeah,
otherwise you're going to be in big trouble.
Oh my days. Well,
you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is a mouthful. I wonder how this is going to go down.
Sorry guys, that's my fault. No, but it's not your business. Signing of Fresh Ego FC. What position am I playing?
Up front.
Striker, yeah. I look kind of wenny still.
You can't?
I look kind of hench in this. Get your, I want to go live with you, blood. I might as well go live with the man them, innit? No.
I'm joined by Marvin Morgan. He was with us prior to the start of that track, of course, the founder of Fresh Ego Kid and Fresh Ego FC. And now, joining me in the studio, 2 of the players from Fresh Ego FC. Well, 3, because Marvin's there as well. So we're joined by Dean Morgan. Dean, you all right?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And Aryan Taj is also in the studio as well. You all right, sir?
I'm amazing. Thank you very much.
Make sure you're talking. I can't see you, can I? There's a speaker in your. You've just got a speaker for a head at the moment, but it's fine. I know you're there. Do you find that people are like when you say, because I think there's a quote actually you say that life can be so difficult after football. I don't think fans and probably players understand that until they retire. And I guess there's probably not a lot of sympathy from the public, is there, to footballers who are like, oh no, I finished playing, because most people have a certain perception of footballers. So then when it comes to kind of having that sympathy and that understanding, it doesn't really seem to be there. Plus, it's a really male-dominated sport as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So how has that affected you?
For me personally, I was asked that question throughout my career, family, friends, and
what are you going to do after football?
Yeah, what are you going to do? And I was like, I have no idea. I swear to God, still to this day, I couldn't even think I was going to do this, what I'm doing now, or whatever it may be with likes of Marvin. I had no clue. And to sort of now give that guidance to younger players to come through and use that, our experiences of having a thought and a dream and a vision that he had, use what you've got now, especially the money, because the money comes, but it goes.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
And I retired, 3 years ago, and I had to swallow my pride and say, look, I need to go and work, because everyone thought, 18 years I was a professional footballer, and I've been through so much, but you would never think, oh, why is he doing what he's doing now? But I am for the better of myself, mentally, physically, and for my family.
And I know this is one of the things that you focus on is mental health. And I think that that's obviously like a big thing as well, right? Is that when that happens, it must have a massive impact on your mental health.
I think the perception of obviously the public and people outside of football, they think, that they have this perception that footballers are arrogant and loud and confident, and which a lot are. But it's tough, especially when injuries come and go.
Yeah,
I'm coming back from a serious injury myself, and me personally, I've found it tough, and I consider myself, to be confident, but I can empathise with the amount of like let's call it depression or anxiety people may feel, and that's massive. And you know, that's only one thing. There's gambling in football. Probably a lot of sports, but gambling, you know, obviously you've got injuries. All these play a massive part in mental health. Yeah,
because I think for a lot of people, especially who are in male-dominated industries, find it really difficult to actually verbalise and say, this is how I feel and this is what's going on. So what's given you the strength to be able to say even the words depression and anxiety, I think?
Your peers, and this is exactly why Marvin has started this up, because this Freshigo FC is about bringing us together and realising that we are allowed to talk about it. We shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. And that everyone will be supported if they do have an issue, or if they are, when they are, you know, shall we say, confident enough to speak their mind.
Have you found that even just by kind of putting those messages out there, that you've had other people contact you, like maybe directly and reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I think our comms messaging has been spot on. Like, we've only played one game, but we've managed to do so much.
Did you win?
Yeah, we won. We won 2-1.
That was good about the game.
We should have batted them. We should have. They weren't that good.
Okay.
I'm calling out United stand flex and rants. You weren't that good, lads. Yeah.
Fact.
But nah, it's like my thing is it's about the messaging. Yeah. It's about basically saying to people, it's okay not to be okay. We all have down days. Every single body.
While you're here, who's the best player out of the three of you? Because I know
myself.
Me.
Before I put up the mics, you lot were all like, you were bantering each other.
Aryan, Taj second, Marvin Morgan first.
This is
don't listen to him now.
This is the hate I have to, like, even in the group chat, like I always say, you got to be hot to be hated, because I'm the most hated. It's mad.
And that's why you're the hottest.
When I mean hot, I don't mean I'm just like in general, like. That's what I'm saying. This is the hate's there. I don't get it. Like these two.
It's just reality, isn't it? It's just reality.
You need to come out your bubble, Marvin, mate.
Do you want me to start coming to you live on air? Go on.
Who's the hottest? Come on. Dean, go.
I thought you pointed at me to say I was, but
you're Butters, fam.
Wow.
Who still has their...
Wow, that was hard.
Who still has their ears pierced?
I don't have my ears pierced. My tragus, actually.
What is
Dean,
that
you've got to talk more into the mic.
Sorry, I don't have my ears pierced.
Dean, you've got another talent, haven't you?
What is that?
I have another talent?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You work with trainers?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I customise trainers.
There you go.
He's plugging his own team.
What talent did you think I was talking about?
I don't know. I didn't know you knew that. Yeah,
I know
Custom Walks on Instagram. If you want to follow, obviously, that'd be great. Yeah, but I've been doing that for
just shout it out. Just shout it out.
3 to 5 years now, and it's getting a little bit more serious than I anticipated. But that's just something that just sits there.
Where's my trainers?
Does that get an applause?
Well, give me your trainers.
No, louder. Don't do the applause.
Do the applause now.
Why?
Hey, before we kind of wrap this up, I'm going to say big shout out to...
It's just taking over now.
Yeah, I have to, really. Like, obviously, Ashley Lewis, Ben, Alexander, George.
A few moments later.
Joel, Liam, DT. I just don't know why I said DT, because I don't really like him.
Do I.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No one likes DT.
You know what I'm saying?
Put him in the bin.
He's just there. I don't know why I said his name, like Omar, Stacky, Junior, Franks, Morgs, Bobo.
Eventually.
D Mace, Mully, Anton.
If anyone tunes in now, they'll be like, is this the register?
Ricky, Warren, Costa, Nathan. Obviously Harry's here, Morgs is here.
Oi,
You know what I'm saying?
inside.
Lawrence.
I haven't got the sound effect
Obviously
for
Miles
Sorry about that.
and Binzi. You know what I mean? There's a few of us. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of you.
There's a lot of us, and we're doing this for the right call. Actually, we just signed a player today. You know who we just signed?
No.
Dicko.
Yeah.
Appreciate
that. Thank you guys so much. It's been
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you so much.
That's all good. Oh yeah. One more thing.
Yeah.
FreshEgoKid.com. Get yourself down. Get online. Get your bits on. Yeah, I'm plugging. Yeah, big up.
Discount
Okay, no
code.
worries.
Yeah. Where's the sound effects? Sound effects.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sound effects.
Clap your hands.
Yeah, clap your hands. Yeah.
Trapstar brought me gifts.
Round.
Other brands are available.